Hi CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this cute little Christmas tree. And I'm going to leave all the materials you're going to need for this in the description box below instead of going through all of them with you. But I am going to go as slow as I can so I can make this beginner friendly. And I will tell you that I am using a 4mm hook, so you can just go ahead and get started without having to look at everything in the description box. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm excited about crocheting for the coming seasons. Okay, so let's get into our tutorial. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is make a magic circle. Then we're going to chain 2. That counts as your first double crochet. And then we're going to do 5 more double crochets into the magic circle. Then you're going to pull tight, and you're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain of 2 that you did, just like that. And you've got this little thing here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it inside out, and then we're going to start working around this way. So the next thing that you're going to do is chain 2 into the same spot right here. You're going to put another double crochet because that chain of 2 counted as a double crochet. And then you're going to go into your next stitch and put 2 double crochets. And you're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch around. And you should have a count of 12. So now we have 12 double crochets all the way around, 2 double crochets in each stitch. And then we're right here to where we did our first chain of 2, and we're gonna slip stitch into the top of that. So sometimes if it's hard to see, what you can do is count back. So I think I need to go in right here. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm going to slip stitch right into here. So I'm going to chain 1, and into this same space where I slip stitched, I'm going to put 2 double crochets. Chain 2. 2 more double crochets. And then I'm going to slip stitch into my next stitch. Then into the next stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochets. Chain 2. 2 more double crochets in the same stitch there. And then into my next stitch, I'm going to slip stitch. And this is what it looks like as you're going around. Then you're going to do the same thing again. In the next stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets. Chain 2. 2 double crochets. And then you're just going to slip stitch into your next stitch. And you're going to keep doing that all the way around. And now we're on our last one. So we're going to go into our next stitch, put a double crochet, another double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets. And then what we're going to do is into this right here to the base of this first stitch that we did right here, You can see the base stitch right there. We're going to go right into there under this little petal here, branch rather, and we're going to make a slip stitch. And then we're going to simply pull through. You can tuck this piece right back into here because we're just going to glue these things together, so you don't have to work that in. You can just press it right back into the top just like that. And then I'm just going to work this in right now with my crochet hook. And that way they're just done by the time I go to get them ready. Remember, if you're new to crochet, I think that 3 is the charm. So you want to work this end piece in about 3 times. And these are given as gifts, or you're selling them, or whatever you're doing with this pattern. You want to make sure that you are working in your ends really well so they never come undone. Okay, so I'm going to cut right here, and then we've got everything worked in. And that's our very top of the Christmas tree. So now we're going to go to our other colors. Again, we're going to make a magic circle. And we're going to do exactly what we did in the one before for the first 2 rounds. We're going to chain up 2. We're going to do 5 double crochets into our magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to pull tight. You're going to slip stitch into the top of your chain of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know I need to go in right here. I'm just showing you that in case you have trouble with that. Okay, then I'm going to turn this inside out, and I'm going to start working. Chain up 2. Then I put another double crochet in that same spot. So that's 2 double crochets. Then go into the next, 2 more double crochets. You put 2 double crochets in each stitch around for a count of 12. Then again, we're going to slip stitch to the top of our chain of 2. First double crochet there. And now we're going to do, for this row, another increase. So we're going to chain up 2, and then we're going to go into our next stitch and we're going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Then we're going to go into our next stitch and put 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets. Into the next stitch, we'll put 1 double crochet, and into the next, you're going to put 2 double crochets. Into the next, 1 double crochet, and into the next, 2 double crochets. And by the end of this round, you should have a stitch count of 18. Notice that on every round, because we started with 6, you're increasing by 6. So we were at 6, then we're at 12, then we're at 18, and then it goes on by 6s as you go. So we'll go into the next stitch and put 1 double crochet. We'll go into the next and put 2. Go into the next and put 1. And then you're going to end on 2 double crochets. If for some reason you do not end up on the count that you need, or you're off, you can always add or take away. All you need is the 18, okay? So now we're going to slip stitch to the top of our chain of 2, just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and start doing the branches or whatever that go around the end. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go right into that same spot that we were working in and put a double crochet. And another double crochet. Then you're going to chain 2 and put 2 more double crochets. Then you're going to go into your next stitch and you're going to make a slip stitch. Then you're going to go into your next stitch and start another little branch. So you're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Go into the next stitch and make a slip stitch. And keep doing that all the way around. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. So I'm on my last one, so I'm going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then in my last stitch, I'm going to make a slip stitch. And then we're done with this round. We end on a slip stitch on that one. I'm going to close this off just like this. I'm going to go ahead and work this in. Now we're going to go back to the dark. Again, we're going to start with a magic circle. Then we're going to chain 2. We're going to do 5 double crochets into the magic circle. Four and 5. Then you're going to pull tight. Then we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain of 2 that we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, we're starting off just like we have done in the other ones. You're just going up in the rounds that you're doing. So we've got our 6 there. We've turned it inside out. We're going to chain 2. Into that same stitch right there, we're going to put another double crochet, so we have 2 double crochets. Then we're going to go into our next stitch and put 2 double crochets for 12 all the way around. Then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your chain of 2. And now we're going to increase. So we're going to chain 2. Into our next stitch, that counts as our first double crochet, we're going to put 2 double crochets. Into the next stitch, we're going to put 1 double crochet. Into the next, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Into the next, 1 double crochet. Into the next, 2. So on this row, remember, we're going to end with a stitch count of 18. Okay, so you're going to chain 2. That counts as your first double crochet. Then you're going to go into your next stitch and put 1 double crochet. So now you have 2. And then you're going to go into your next stitch, and in that same stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets. Then you're going to put a double crochet in your next 2 stitches, just 1 in each stitch. And in the next stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets. In the next stitch, you're going to put 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, 1 double crochet. And in the next stitch, 2 double crochets. And you're going to keep doing that all the way around. By the end of this row, you should have a stitch count of 24. Okay, so we're on our last stitch here, and we're going to put 2 double crochets. And then you're going to have to slip stitch into your chain of 2. And that's our last increase for this round. So for this round, you see what we increased, that goes on top of here. And then you're going to continue doing the little branches on here. So you'll chain 1, into that same spot you'll put a double crochet, another double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in the same stitch. Then you'll go into your next stitch and put a slip stitch, and you'll keep doing that all the way around. So once we get to the end, I'll meet you back up again. Okay, so we're getting close to our last one here. So we're going to slip stitch into our next stitch. Then we're going to do our last one and this one right here. Okay, so these are a little bit different on each round. Doesn't matter, just keep going around and doing the way it's supposed to be. And it'll end up just fine. This project is very forgiving, so you don't have to count everything and make sure everything's perfect. It's going to be beautiful no matter what. And then we're going to slip stitch, and since we don't have a stitch, you know, right under here, we're going to just go right into the base of this branch right here, and then you're going to pull tight and you're going to cut off. So what you've done for this one is you started off with your 6 double crochets, and then you did 2 in each and you had 12. Then for this one you did 6 double crochets, you did the 2 in each for 12, and then you did 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochet and then 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet. So your stitch count was 18. Then for this one you did 6, 12, the 1 and 2, and then you did the 1, 1 and 2, 1, 1 and 2. And so for the end of this round you would have had 14. So for the end of this round, before you did your branches, you would have had 12. For this one 18, for this one 24. And then so for this one what you would do is 6, 12, the 1 and 2 that got you to 18, the 2 and 2 which got you to 24, and then you would go to your next one which would be 3 and 2 all the way around. So 1, 2, 3 double crochets and then 2, and then you would have ended up with a stitch count of 30. And then for this one 6, 12, 1 and 2, 2 and 2, 3 and 2, 4 and 2, and you would have ended up at the bottom of this with 36, and then you would have done your branches. So that's how this has worked. Really easy. I'm going to show you how to do the star as well, but I do want to show you how to put this together. So all I'm going to use is hot glue. You can use, if you don't have hot glue, you could really use any kind of glue you wanted to set this. You could use Elmer's glue, you could use fabric glue. Of course, those things take longer to dry, to just keep that in mind. But whatever you have on hand, and technically you could sew these together as well. So I've got my hot glue gun out. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the top here. And I'm going to make a thing of hot glue right around this edge right here. And then I'm going to press this right in just like that. Just like this. And you're going to do the same thing all the way down, just right above where that hole is right there. And then you're going to place this one in there as well. So just working on the inside there. And right in here. And this is our last one. Okay. And you just want to let everything dry, and then you can move everything as you need to, just like this. So the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to make the little pot at the bottom. And then I just put them on these little wooden pieces that I have. I'll show you how to do that as well. And then I'm going to show you how to do the star. Okay, so now we're going to do the base of our Christmas tree here. It looks just like this. So we're going to start off with a magic circle. And we're going to do 6 single crochets into our magic circle. So now we're working with single crochets. Then you're going to pull tight and you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet. It's going to be hard to work into there. And we're not going to be working in the round, so you will be closing each round. So then you're going to chain 1, you're going to go back into that same stitch and put 1 single crochet, and in that same stitch another single crochet, and into the next stitch 2 single crochets. So you're putting 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around for a count of 12. So then you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet here. Then you're going to chain 1, and into this first stitch here you're going to put 1 single crochet. Into the next you'll put 2 single crochets. Into the next you'll put 1 single crochet. Into the next you'll put 2 single crochets. And you'll just keep doing that all the way around. By the end of this round, you should have a stitch count of 18. And then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet there. And then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to do 1 more round of increase. You're going to go into this first stitch, put 1 single crochet, go into the next and put 1 single crochet, and then go into the next and put 2 single crochets. Into the next 1 single crochet, into the next 1 single crochet, and into the next 2 single crochets. Okay, so keep doing that all the way around. You should have a stitch count of 24. Okay, so we now have 24 single crochets all the way around, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of our first single crochet, just like that. Sorry about the train, guys. I live near a train track. If you've watched my videos for long enough, you know that. But now what we're going to do is we're going to work some half double crochets around into our back loop, and we're going to do that to make this turn up and go to make this base here. So you're going to chain 1 and working into the back loop, starting even right here, you're going to be working a half double crochet. And into the next stitch, working in the back loop, 1 half double crochet. Into the next stitch, working in the back loop, 1 half double crochet. So keep doing this all the way around, 1 half double crochet into the back loop. And as you go, this is going to make a lip and cause this to turn in on you. That's normal. I'll show you what to do here at the end. We're going to turn it this way, just like that. And we're going to slip stitch into our first half double crochet right there. And you'll see how that creates a bottom for your pot as we go along. So then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to put a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And you're going to do that for 3 rows. So counting this one that we're doing now, you're going to do 2 more. So just 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. When you come back around, make sure you slip stitch into your first half double crochet, not that chain of 1. Okay, so I'll see you back in just a minute when we get done with our 3 rows. Okay, so we did our 3 rows, and as you can see, as you go on with that, you start to notice where you did this half double crochet, it creates a bottom for it. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut off after these 3 rounds, and we're going to make a top for this. So leave a long enough piece to use, because we're going to use that to sew on the top. Okay, so then you're just going to pull through. You're going to leave that little piece down in the bottom. So you're going to make a magic circle. And you're going to put 6 single crochets into your magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you're going to pull tight. You're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet. Then you're going to do chain 1, and then you're going to put a single crochet in your first stitch and another single crochet in that same stitch, and you're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around for a count of 12. So if you didn't know how to increase before this video, you certainly will know how to now, which is great because this is how we do amiguramis, how we make beanies, basically using the same techniques. So once you learn how to do these things, you can create all kinds of stuff. So again, you're going to slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet. Then you're going to chain 1 into that same space. You're going to put 1 single crochet, and into the next you're going to put 2, into the next you're going to put 1, and into the next you're going to put 2. And you're going to keep doing that all the way around, 1 and 2, for a stitch count of 18. Okay, so now I'm going to slip stitch into my first single crochet, just like that. Remember, we have 18 for that, so then we're going to chain 1 into the first stitch there that we just did. We're going to put 1 single crochet. Into the next one, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And into the next one, we're going to put 2 single crochets. And that's what you're going to repeat all around. And the next, 1 single crochet, and the next 1 single crochet, and then the next 2 single crochets. Okay, so do that all the way around, and you should have a stitch count of 24 by the end of this row. Okay, so we have our 24 stitches all the way around. We're going to slip stitch into the top of our first single crochet, and now we're going to simply cut off this last piece here. And then both of these are just going to fall into the top of this, just like this. And that's going to fit right on the top, and we're going to just sew this on together. But the first thing I want to do is I want to stuff this pretty good. And it might try to fold in on you, just pull it up. Okay, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and put this onto a darning needle. And then again, you can work this in if you want to. That's totally up to you, but I'm just going to lay them right on top. It's all going to go on the inside here. So now all you're going to do is you're going to line this up with the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want to work on the top of each one of these and go through just like this. And you don't have to get each stitch either. Again, that's totally up to you. You just want to close this up the best you can. Okay, so we've worked this in all the way around, and now all we're going to do is we're going to go back into our work. Basically, this is like amigurumi. Well, it is technically. So we're going to just go back into our work, going into that space right there to work this in. Then you're going to go in the same spot, come back out. And again, for amigurumi type stuff, I do the same thing, 3's a charm. So I go back in again, working through the same spot so that you can't see these stitches on the outside. And then I pull through. I pull tight, and I cut off so that springs right back into the work there. And then you just work this in exactly how you like it. Now, you do not have to put a base with this like I am. I just think it helps for it to stand properly if you're putting it somewhere. If you need to put it somewhere that doesn't have the best surface for it, I think this helps. So I had these around, but you do not have to use this. It still will stand up. And glue this on here, just like this. Doesn't matter which side, but I'm going to put that side down. I'm going to hold that for a few seconds to let it dry. And then we're going to put our tree on top of our little pot. So we've got our tree. We're going to put this right here, just like we did the other things. And then we're going to set this right just like that. Okay. And look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And then because we use this acrylic 4-weight yarn, you can really move these any way you want, also keeping your stitches nice and tight. And that's just a way that where you won't have to block your work. If you are using a softer yarn because you don't really have a choice or whatever the reason is, or you just want that color maybe, you can wet your work, spread it out, pin it, do all that kind of stuff to block it if you wish, okay? So now I'm going to show you how to do the star, tell you about the other little decorations, and we'll be all done. Star, we're going to make a magic circle. And into this magic circle, we're going to put 10 single crochets. 1, 2, you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet. And then you're going to chain 4. And now we're going to be working down this chain of 4. So into the second stitch up, we're going to put a single crochet. Into the next stitch, we're going to put a half double crochet. And into the next stitch, we're going to put a double crochet. Then you're going to skip this stitch, go into the next, and put a slip stitch. And that's your first point of your star. Then you're going to chain 4 again. You're going to single crochet into your next stitch, half double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, skip your next stitch, go into the next, and put a slip stitch. Again, chain 4, skip this stitch, go into the next, and put a single crochet. Go into the next and put a half double crochet. Go into the next and put a double crochet. Skip your next stitch, go into the next, put a slip stitch. Chain 4. Skip your first stitch, go into the next, put a single crochet. Go into the next, put a half double crochet. Go into the next, put a double crochet. Skip your next stitch, go into the next, and put a slip stitch. Now we have 4 point star, so now we're on our last one. Chain 4, go into the second stitch from your hook, make a single crochet, go into the next, make a half double crochet, go into the next, make a double crochet, and then skip your next stitch, go into the next, and make a slip stitch. That next stitch that you're slip stitching into will be at the bottom of your chain of 4. And then you'll pull tight, turn your work over, cut off, pull your end in, just like that. You can pull this tight as well, so you can close up that hole, and then you're just going to work your ends in. And I'm going to glue this to the top of my tree. I'm going to show you how to do that. What I like to do is I like to pull this up, make it as pointy as possible. I'm going to find the place I want to put this at right here in the middle. I'm going to put hot glue right there on the top. Then I'm going to take my star and I'm going to place it right there. So just like this. Now these stars do like to bend. You might want to block them. It's all up to you if you want to or not. As you can see right here, this is starting to bend a little bit, but I don't mind. I just pull at them as I walk by them in the house. But you can block them if you want. It will help if you do a little bit of a looser stitch. But if you do a looser stitch, then it will make the star bigger. As you can tell for the one I did in the video, it's just a looser stitch and it's quite a bit bigger. So then all I did was I put some little bells. I Used some red yarn, tied a little bow here. You can put little bows all over it. You can put little, I've used these little little pom-pom things that I found at Walmart. All kinds of different colors of those. So you can decorate these, and that's what makes these so individual and special, because you can make them exactly the way you want. But they're just absolutely beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you make these, send me some pictures. I love when you guys send me pictures. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of those places. You can send me pictures there. And please like, share, and subscribe. Sharing these videos help more than anything, and I appreciate it so much, guys. And I've missed you, and hopefully I'll be coming back for some more videos soon. So happy crocheting. See you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.